It's Friday the 30th of September and welcome to From the South. An armed attack against a military convoy in northern Mexico left 4 soldiers dead and at least 10 wounded, according to local officials. The attack took place at dawn on the outskirts of the city of Culiacan in Sinaloa State, home to major Mexican drug lords like Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who waits in prison to be extradited to the United States. Authorities are investigating. Prisoners of Brazil's Jardinopolis Penitentiary attempted a mass breakout on Thursday. Globo's G1 news site reported that of some 200 inmates who broke out, only 100 had so far been recaptured. Reports are that riots and mass escape attempts are common across Brazil. Jardinopolis is heavily overcrowded with a population of 1,864, but a capacity of only 1,000.
After a 5-month struggle, the Honduran university student movement has achieved its 2 most important objectives: participation on the National University's Governing Council and the possibility of electing its own representatives.
After several years without having student representation and authentic student government, we have finally reached an agreement on the electoral process that includes the different points of view. We have possible date for the elections on November the 2nd. In the
elections, the students will choose the student president and the presidents of the 8 regional campuses, plus the president of each career and 16 representatives for the university's governing council, which is the head of the board of directors.
We want representatives that are honest, that are well prepared, that know what they're doing, because those decisions taken by the University Council affect all the students at the university.
The student struggle began on May after the university's council approved new measures to increase costs and open the door to the privatization of the university. The student organizations have helped to block these measures and have agreed to accept the students' elections, something which hasn't taken place since 2004, when students' representatives were removed from the council and the board of directors. The students are now preparing for this new step in the process. Gerardo Torres, teleSur, Honduras.
This week, Colombia's FARC rebel group offered an official apology for the 2002 Boyaha massacre, where guerrillas killed 79 civilians visiting the church which was destroyed in the attack. FARC commander Ivan Marquez asked the local community for reconciliation. The deadly FARC attack on the village killed 48 children as rebels attempted to take control of the Atrato River region from paramilitaries. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says he expects non-OPEC nations like Russia to reduce output in a bid to boost oil prices. Maduro has insisted for months that major oil producers should reach a consensus to freeze production levels to counter excess supply. He said he is convinced that there will be a stable oil market if OPEC and non-OPEC countries pledge to cut production. On Wednesday, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries agreed to slightly reduce production for the first time since 2008. Relatives of slain Ugandan refugee Alfred Olango are angry. Olango was fatally shot by police officers in the United States after he was said to be behaving erratically. His family said he had been suffering from mental illness. Police shot the 38-year-old after they said he pulled an object from his pocket and pointed it in the direction of an officer. The object was later determined to be an e-cigarette, and Olango's death has fueled demonstrations in protest against the killing of black men by police officers in the United States. The US State Department has called recent comments by Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte troubling. On Friday, Duterte said he would be happy to exterminate 3 million drug users and peddlers in the country, likening himself and his actions to Adolf Hitler. The Philippines leader has been a topic of controversy for his tough stance on drugs. He took office on June 30th, and over 3,100 people have been killed since then, mostly alleged drug users and dealers in police operations and vigilante killings. Noting that Hitler had murdered millions of Jews, Duterte, on a stop in Davao City, said, "There are 3 million drug addicts, I'd be happy to slaughter them."
According to Reuters, sources in the Syrian opposition have said that they have received a large number of PM-21 Grad rockets from supporting countries. The sources continued saying that opposition fighters received the rocket launchers with capabilities of between 22 to 40 kilometers. These weapons will be used in Aleppo, Hama, and the coastal region.
Providing arms and intervention in Syrian affairs is supposed to raise the morale of terrorists, which has collapsed, especially after the progress made by the Syrian army over the last period. So by providing arms and intervening on the ground, supporters of terrorism such as Saudi Arabia and Turkey are trying to boost the morale of the militants.
This comes as analysts believe that the delivery of these weapons are due to the possible escalation of fighting in Syria, especially due to the ongoing differences between Russia and the United States. The weapons will also be delivered to the coastal front where there is Russian base present.
The United States recognizes that it is now on the decline, while Russia, by actually investing in an objective that is consistent with international law regarding the war on terrorism in Syria, has managed to regain international strength and become the second global power. The Americans will not take this well, and in my point of view, it will lead to greater escalation, and unfortunately, Syria will be the field for this escalation.
In the past month, militants have published videos showing vehicles carrying Grad rocket launchers. Additionally, bombings by the Grad have been reported in Aleppo and Latakia, confirming the delivery of the weapons prior to the announcement this month. Hazim Abdullah, teleSur's, Syria.
India continues to evacuate people from villages near the de facto border with Pakistan in northern Punjab state, a day after launching strikes on suspected militants preparing to infiltrate from Pakistan-ruled Kashmir. This is the latest in a decades-long territorial dispute between the two countries. Indian officials said the motive of the attack was to hit out at terrorists who were planning to infiltrate into our territory. Pakistan has denied that claim. French President François Hollande says that he would be discussing a French initiative with Israeli President Reuven Rivlin, aimed at resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This comes after world leaders attended the burial ceremony of the Israeli statesman and Nobel laureate Shimon Peres. Peres was a former president and prime minister who died on Wednesday at the age of 93. He shared a Nobel Prize for the Interim Land of Peace Accords, which he helped create with the Palestinians while he was Israel's foreign minister in the 1990s. Italian officials say that two Van Gogh masterpieces, stolen in Amsterdam 14 years ago, have been recovered from the home of a notorious Italian drug boss, Raffaele Imperiale, near Naples. Imperiale was arrested 10 years ago at the same location at Castelmare di Stabia, some 21 miles southeast of Naples, a notorious hotspot for Neapolitan mafia activity. The pieces of art recovered were the 1882 Seascape at Schwengen and the 1884 Congregation Leaving the Reformed Church at Nuenen. More on these and other stories on our website telesurtv.net/English.